Man Dude, KS, Cable Guy 70, and Across the Tracks. It's a bonus episode, baby. Welcome to the fifth line.
Welcome, everybody, to a bonus episode of The Fifth Line. I'm Man Dude, this week's randomly drawn host, and I am joined by fellow CFL enthusiast, Cable Guy 70.
Hello.
And Across the Tracks, a.k.a. Dillon. I didn't even pick up on what that was. I think it was him laughing. So, we did not cover the CFL in our last episode, but we are making up for that now by having a CFL-themed episode. You may notice we're missing KS. Well, he's busy today because he's a fraud, and we're also recording our main episode on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that.
His husband, Austin Matthews.
He has. So this week we're focusing on the CFL. Now, as this week's host, I have the responsibility of looking at all the scores. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there is actually a game on today, but...
it's not till 6 p.m. my time.
Okay, so...
4 p.m. hours.
Alright, let's take a look at all the CFL scores from this week. By the way, today's game is between the 3-7 Elks and the 9-1 Alouettes.
Which is actually important because the West Division is so ass that the Elks are going to be within like 2 points for the playoff spot, I think, if they win.
Which they're not fucking gonna because they're playing Montreal.
You never know.
Stranger things have happened.
True. I mean, we did just lose to the fucking Red Blacks, so...
It was
we're playing
5-1.
again next week, or this week on Saturday. Again.
Yay. Touchdown Pacific.
Oh, alrighty. This week's scores. Now, we had a bit of a barn burner between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Toronto Argonauts on Thursday, where the Argos stole one away from the Roughriders, with that score ended up... Let me finish.
Toronto missed a few... Okay, I'll let you finish.
Alright. That score ended up 20-19. You may talk now.
It ended on a rouge because Toronto missed the field goal at the end of the game with no time left, but they kicked it out the back of the end zone, so they won by 1 point.
Yeah, for those unaware, a rouge is like this unique thing in the CFL where if the ball goes outside the back of a team's end zone,
or kneeled
that
in,
team is rewarded 1 point.
And that 1 point used them to catapult Saskatchewan by 1 point to win. Now, next up is the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Now, I didn't watch this game, but it appears that Winnipeg had the first half in hand, and then Hamilton decided to exist in the third half, or in the second half, the third quarter, and then died in the fourth quarter. With a final score of 26-23 Winnipeg, they are now 5-6 and within pissing distance of a playoff spot.
They are in a playoff spot currently.
Alright, is BC now out or something?
They're in the third seed.
Okay.
Which means if the season ended today, guess where BC would have to go in the West semis?
Oh boy!
Oh, great. Saskatchewan.
We'll get to that later.
And by later, I mean...
But honest to God, I'm not really surprised that the Ticats blew this one because they are currently 2-9. Worse than the Elks somehow. Good Lord, I don't know how that's possible. But
Trey Ford existed.
You know what? That's fair. Existed is the key word. And the final score ended up being 26-23 Blue Bombers. Now, on to the game that Dillon here has been waiting for the most. Since his Calgary Stampeders had a bye week this week and did not play, since there are only 9 teams, someone had to sit out. And this week, he decided to take a look at the Lions lose to the Red Blacks 34-27. Now, the Lions actually had a good start in this game. They were up 10-3 at the end of the first. And then they were still up by a decent margin in the at the end of the first half, right?
They were up by like 4 points, I think.
Yeah, and then Ottawa decided to score 15 points in the third quarter, while BC only decided to put up 7. So it was pretty damn close between those two teams at the end of the third. And then the fourth came around, where Ottawa decided to score a touchdown and a field goal, while BC only scored 3 points. So the BC Lions, who I have appropriately worn a jersey of today, I don't know why I made that decision, but they are...
Remember back in episode 1 when he said you were happy you got a Lions jersey instead of a Blue Jays jersey?
I wish I got the Jays jersey now. Because the Jays have actually been good. Recently.
Good, as in like 15 games under 500, but...
Well, if I take a look at them,
also under 500.
they won 8-2 today, are now 5 games below 500, so...
Holy crap.
Right.
They might
actually
end
do
games
this?
out of the playoff spot.
They might... The Toronto Blue Jays, pulling shit out of their ass since whenever the hell they were invented. Anyways, today is not a baseball-themed episode, this is a football-themed episode. So yeah, the BC Lions have now lost 5 in a row. After starting the season 5-1.
Can I go over those 5 games that they lost in a row?
No!
You may skip over Calgary. You are not allowed to talk about Calgary.
Okay, I'll skip over the 25-24 Stampeders win. Well, the Lions lost, but you get it. That was the double fumble game. Then they had a bye week 8. Week 9, they got their ass spanked 25-0 by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Caleb's favorite team.
Shut up!
Week 10, 33-16 to the Edmonton Elkskinos, as I like to call them.
How did we get our asses handed to us by the fucking Elks?
Also, Trey Ford left the game early, late in the first half. So you lost to McLeod Bethel Thompson, or as I like to call him, CBT.
And the CBT would continue next week.
As Week 11 was a 2011 loss to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Again.
This was Nathan Rourke's first game in the CFL since 2022. He went 8 for 25 with the pick. That's all you need to know.
Oh.
That brings us to this week, a 34-27 loss to the Ottawa Red Blacks, where BC blew a lead at halftime and relied on their defense to get a stop with 2 minutes left. It didn't work.
Uh-huh.
Okay, if I may take over.
You may take over.
Been like... I've had a lot of shit in my head about the Lions.
And we can... Hold on, Caleb. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I would like to personally ask Dillon over here to mute his microphone while you talk, Caleb. So that way we don't hear his laughing while you're talking. Because he is a Stampeders fan, and we here at the Fifth Line don't like the Stampeders, except for Dillon. So...
And KS, because he's indifferent.
Yeah, he doesn't watch football. Or CFL, so...
So I've had a lot in my head in regards to the Lions. I actually published a video on my channel just a while ago.
Link will be in the description.
About how shit the Lions have been lately, with a special guest appearance from the other guy in this chat.
Is that who I heard laughing in that video?
And I'm gonna repeat some of the same points as I did in that video right here. It is baffling how a team that's such convincing fashion over teams like Saskatchewan and Winnipeg and Calgary can just collapse after losing basically no one. How their offensive line can just completely fall to shit. How the defense can be...
You cut out there for a second.
They're completely unprepared for opponents that are like 6 games below 500, going against a running quarterback, knowing that you have a shitty run defense and doing nothing to address it. losing to the backup quarterback for the worst team in the CFL, losing to the fucking Ottawa Red Blacks, who haven't been relevant since 2016, losing to Winnipeg
18.
again and again and again in all the big moments, like Nathan Rourke's homecoming game, the last two West Finals, fucking the first game after the double fumble. It's always Winnipeg.
I think it's revenge for Grey Cup 99.
That was 2011, right?
Yeah, that was 2011 when the Lions started 0-5 and won the Grey Cup in BC against Winnipeg.
Hey, we've been 0-5 in the last 5 games. Maybe that'll happen again someday. I don't fucking know.
And then you'll lose to Winnipeg.
Oh, God. The fifth line would have to end because one of the co-hosts would be dead to self-inflicted gunshot wounds.
You're going to get the crossover spot, sweep the East, and then lose to Winnipeg on your home field. Their stadium's going to be packed with Bomber fans, too.
Just like it was when Nathan Rourke came back.
I'm having a lot of fun.
A little bit of a preview for tonight's game between the... What was it again? I forgot. The Elks and the Owls. The Elks and the Owls.
Who's starting for Edmonton?
I have no idea. What I do know is that it's not going to frickin' matter because they're playing against the 9-1 Montreal Alouettes. So...
Edmonton has won 3 straight, though.
True, but that streak is going to lose once they play Montreal, who is currently on a heater so large, like holy hell.
Trey Ford will be out for this game. CBT's getting the start. He was 0-7 this season.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
by the end of the season.
Yeah, the Owls have won 4 straight, so...
Who'd they lose to again? Toronto, I think?
I think. Let me take a look.
Imagine if they lost to BC.
Yeah, they lost 37-18 to the Argos.
Yeah.
On July 11th, so... Other than that, it's been win, 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 win.
And now they're going to fall to shit in the East Final because that's how the East Division works. And then like a team under 500 will go to the Grey Cup and then beat like Winnipeg or something.
Yeah, for all we know, the Lions could get...
The Lions could get their shit together, but I doubt it.
Just thinking about that idea.
You just threw up thinking about that? Oh my god.
Oh, imagine if they beat Calgary in like the West semis.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what BC's done the last 2 years, I think. But then again, we haven't had very good teams then. We had Bo Levi Mitchell for one of those games. And you know how Bo Levi Mitchell is now.
Well, just get a good quarterback. It's not that hard.
Yeah, you should take that advice. Mr. 8 for 25 and Mr. We have Kyler Murray at home.
He left. Okay, well, we really didn't have much to talk about in this week's bonus episode of the Fifth Line, so...
Calgary is 1 game back of BC, by the way. We should look at the standings.
Oh my god, I just saw the standings. Calgary's 4th in the West, and they are currently...
They have a game on BC, and they have tiebreaker. So technically, if the Stampeders win the rest of their schedule, ignoring that Lions game, then the Lions are fucked. Which they probably won't because they're the Calgary Stampeders. But they do play Edmonton 3 more times.
That is true. Which I'm not looking forward to.
Edmonton's been on a heater lately.
Yeah.
And BC has a relatively hard schedule because I'm pretty sure they play Ottawa. No, they play Montreal twice. I think. Yeah, they play Ottawa again. They play Calgary again. They play Saskatchewan again.
So I'd like to take a look at a little preview for the next 2 weeks in the CFL. Week 13 of 21, the Red Blacks take on the Lions on Saturday. The Blue Bombers take on the Riders on Sunday. And we've got 2 Monday games. Argos Cats, Elks Stampeders.
The Labor Day Classic.
Mm-hmm. And then in week 14, the Lions take on the Owls, the Argos take on the Red Blacks, the Riders take on the Blue Bombers, and it's Stampeders Elks again, this time in Edmonton. So
yeah, with all 5 of the fans that are going to be there.
Yeah, that's true. And then week 15, there's only 3 games, so a few teams are actually taking bye weeks. So we have Argos Lions, Red Blacks Tiger Cats, Owls Stampeders. So,
Calgary hosts that game. That's important because Calgary's been really good at McMahon this season.
Yeah, they have. It's scary how good they've been at home.
They've only lost 1 game. It was on a last-second field goal to Ottawa.
So yeah, those are your CFL previews for the next 3 weeks. I originally said 2, but then I only saw that there was 3 games happening on week 15. So
the Lions are eating at his brain.
Something's eating at my brain, all right.
It's implying I had a brain to begin with.
Yeah, you believe the Lions are going to be good.
Well, they were. They were 5-1.
Yeah, and then what happened?
Well, virtually nothing changed from the time they were 5-1 to where they are now. It's just
you got Nathan Rourke back. It's like the only change.
Yeah, we have Rourke now. Vernon Adams is still crippled, and I think that's really what happened. Is that Adams is injured still, so our team chemistry has fallen apart.
But Adams didn't get injured until you were like on a 3-game losing streak.
Well,
yeah.
Didn't he get injured against the game in Calgary?
I think he did, but they played through it the next couple weeks.
So yeah, that's probably what happened. Adams got injured, and then had to sit out the games, and then Rourke came back, but he hasn't played in about a year.
Yeah, and just the team's morale is just shot at this point.
Yeah.
Then again, the entire West Division is...
Yeah, I mean, when your best team in the West is 5-1, like, that's not good.
It's a tie.
Yeah, that's not good. 4 teams in the East are better than the entire West Division.
4 teams in the East?
Did I say 4?
You said 4 teams.
I meant to say 3.
Said 4.
Well, the Tiger Cats are probably better than every other team in the West right now anyway, so what does it matter?
They probably beat the Lions right now, let's be honest.
Yeah, like, damn. You're not wrong.
When do the Lions face Hamilton?
The Lions next
week 17.
face... Week 17?
Week 17. Yeah.
And we're at, what, week 13 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's week 12 right now.
Yeah, end of week 12, week 13 starts on Saturday, so... yeah. This has been a bonus episode and a CFL-themed episode of The Fifth Line. Closing statements.
Caleb, do you want to tell the story of why your PFP changed?
Yes. Dylan and I were watching that Lions Red Blacks game. It came back just around the time that it was decided that the Red Blacks won. It was right around the time that they got that first down, like, inside their 30.
Yeah, it's like a minute left.
So I went over to my lawn, grabbed a bottle of bleach, came back and just told him, bottoms up.
Oh.
That's the second time he's brought the bleach out and almost drank it.
The first time, I was pretending to drink it with, like, the cap still on, and a bit of it almost got in my mouth anyways.
That was after the Edmonton game, I'm pretty sure.
Jesus. All right. Yeah, closing statements. Caleb, you said yours. Mine, I hope the Lions get better. It's been embarrassing to watch them the last few weeks.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Together we ride to hell.
Don't worry, did Russell Wilson or Justin Fields become a BC Lion undercover or something? Because
sure
Pittsburgh hasn't been good either. Oh yeah,
Have you seen-
Pittsburgh got
have you
fucking
ever seen
swept
the
in
Cleveland
all of their
Browns?
preseason games. It was embarrassing.
And the
So-
Vikings went undefeated.
Yeah, we should save that for Wednesday, but
Yeah,
because that's when we're recording. Because KS is mid as hell.
yeah, he's a fraud.
Christian.
Yeah, thank you for watching this week's episode, or this week's bonus episode of The Fifth Line. Thank you all so much for listening or watching, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Fire
No.
Campbell.
Fire Campbell, I agree. Podcast
Keith
out.
Campbell. He's as good as for the West Division as Chris Jones.
Okay, podcast out for real this time.
Man Dude, KS, Cable Guy 70, and Across the Tracks. It's a bonus episode, baby. Welcome to the Fifth Line.